Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are St. Louis.
St. Louis Cardinal fans hoping for another victory tonight. The Diamondbacks are in town, game 2 of a 9-game homestand, a very important homestand for St. Louis. Last night, John Jay, one of the heroes in a Redbird victory. This defensive gem saved the starter Joe Kelly. And later on, he contributed with the bat as well. A long home run, extending the Cardinals' lead, and they never looked back. Rick Horton with Al Raboski. So glad you're with us. John Jay. Al has been a pivotal part of this Cardinals offense. He's in that leadoff spot. He's earned that. He may not be the star power of Beltran or Holiday, but he's been a big contributor.
He's a table setter, and he has been doing the job. When he first burst on the scene, you really weren't sure whether he was going to be a regular. Well, he has confirmed the fact that he is one of the best center fielders in all of baseball, and he definitely has contributed, especially here at home. He is a keeper.
Cardinals have played the Diamondbacks very well over the last 2 seasons. We'll look at the starting pitchers for Game 2 when we come back on Fox Sports Midwest. The Diamondbacks in another good pitching matchup here tonight. For Arizona, it'll be the left-hander Joe Saunders. The Cardinals beat him up in Arizona early this season. 9 hits in 3+ innings, including back-to-back home runs. Beltran, then Holiday. For the Cardinals, it'll be their ace Adam Wainwright, who's been very good in his last 5 starts. 1.73 earned run average, and that curveball has been rediscovered. Saunders and Wainwright, the pitchers, here for Game 2. When we come back with Kirk Gibson in town, we thought we'd look at famous World Series home runs. That's next. To look back at some of the most memorable World Series home runs of all time. With part 1 of our most memorable Fall Classic home runs, here's Dan McLaughlin.
We'll start in 1932. The Fall Classic featured the Cubs and the Yankees, and the supposed called shot. The question remains today, did Babe Ruth predict his home run in the 5th inning of the 3rd game 80 years ago?
But I will say that I've had thrills before. Something like hitting a home run in Chicago that time. The Lord was with me when I called the shots.
Whether he did or didn't, it sure is a good story. And the home run helped the Yankees sweep the series. It's every boy's dream to hit a walk-off game-winning home run in the 7th game of the World Series. That dream was Bill Mazeroski's reality back in 1960. The Pittsburgh second baseman took Ralph Terry's offering into the Forbes Field stands, giving the Pirates a 10-9 win and the series championship. Fair or foul? That was the only question to ask in the bottom of the 12th, Game 6 of the 1975 World Series between the Red Sox and the Reds. Game 7 was eventually won by Cincinnati, but the lasting memory of one of the best series ever played belongs to Fisk. Reggie Jackson was already known as a clutch postseason hitter, but his Game 6 of the 1977 World Series earned him the nickname Mr. October. Reggie hit 3 home runs off 3 different pitchers on just 3 pitches, helping clinch the game and the series for New York. Goose Gossage wanted to face Kirk Gibson in Game 5 of the 1984 World Series. Gibson already had 1 home run in the game when Gossage convinced San Diego manager Dick Williams he could beat the Detroit Slugger. With 1 out in the bottom of the 8th, Gibson did it again.
Long drive to right, and it is a home run for Gibson. A 3-run homer. The Tigers lead it 8-4.
The 3-run home run into the upper deck of Tiger Stadium sealed the series for the Tigers.
Those are the first 5 most memorable World Series home runs. Part 2 will air tomorrow. Times are waiting. Grab some buzz. By your Mid-America Chevy dealer, the #1 selling brand in St. Louis. Find us at stlchevy.com. By Dobbs Tire and Auto Center, #1 for quality tires and expert auto service. And by Steak and Shake, just no equal. big day in baseball. If you've missed the news, Felix Hernandez, the third perfect game of the season. This was against Tampa Bay in Seattle. He celebrates. The Mariners being victimized by a perfect game. Now they have one of their own in the same season. Brendan Ryan scores the only run in that game. A 1-0 victory for Hernandez and the Mariners. 12 strikeouts, all kinds of Ks, and all kinds of excitement in Seattle.
Well, that's awesome. You know, a lot of times it's a lopsided score, but 1-0. You know, that game was in the balance until the last pitch, and a perfect game. And how about the fact is, look at all these no-hitters, 5 of them, and 3 perfect games. I'd have to say that is never happened before, to have 3 perfect games in 1 year. And we still got about 45 games left.
Not done yet. Maybe it's Adam Wainwright's turn.
I like it.
Facing the Diamondbacks, game 2 of a 3-game series. Stephen Drew. It's from the left side, plays shortstop for Arizona. Wainwright has been very good of late.
Well, he's evened his record at 10-10. This is the first time his ERA has been under 4, and he has pitched so well here at home of late.
Enterprise Bank and Trust brings you Wainwright's numbers. And he seems to have really rediscovered that sharp curveball. Not that he didn't have it in the early going, but a little more consistent with it.
And I think if you watch his mannerisms, he is in complete command, and he knows when he wants to throw a certain location, he can get it there.
Working with Tony Cruz behind the plate tonight. Yadier Molina dealing with some lower back issues.
And that's been going on for a while, and you saw late in the ball game, really wasn't running the bases well. And we kind of thought then when Tony Cruz took over in the last inning, it was just more because it was a blowout. But the back has really tightened up on him, and hopefully it's just day to day.
Wainwright looking for victory number 11 tonight. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. He strikes out Drew with that curveball. Good way to start for number 50. We'll show you the rest of the Diamondbacks lineup. You've already seen Drew. Aaron Hill bats second. Jason Kubel, very hot hitter, will be in left field and hit third. Paul Goldschmidt is the first baseman. Justin Upton in right. Montero the catcher. Chris Johnson came over from the Astros. He bats seventh. Chris Young back in center. And Joe Saunders the pitcher. Kirk Gibson in his third season as a manager of the Diamondbacks.
Last year's National League Manager of the Year. Almost a repeat. Not a very good ball club early in the season. They're playing .500 right now, but they still think they have a chance.
And I would say they do, despite the fact that they do not have one hitter in their lineup batting over .300.
That's true, but I'd like to think that the Cardinals are going to dominate in this series. They took game 1 and will knock them out of it.
That's the plan.
There was a little additional news in baseball today. The perfect game was good news, but there's some bad and ugly news also.
Grounded foul.
Melky Cabrera, who was leading the National League in hits, the left fielder for the Giants, is found to have used performance-enhancing drugs, and he has been given a 50-game suspension that starts today.
Ground ball to the left side. Freeze. Throws out Hill. Cardinals defense has been solid this season. Here's how they are in the outfield with Holiday J, who made a wonderful play in game 1. Beltran and right. Descalzo and Furcal up the middle. Craig and Freeze at the corners. Tony Cruz behind the plate. That's our Dobbs Cardinals defense.
Nice plays by Schumacher last night, but Descalzo, who's playing short right field, has been phenomenal with his glove. And even though Schumacher continues to hit, he had a couple hits again last night, the glove of Descalzo keeps him in the lineup on a consistent basis.
Noticed a quote from Schumacher in the Post-Dispatch where he said, "I'm improving as a defensive player, but I'm no Descalzo." And I thought that was a pretty good way to say it to your teammate.
And I think it's pretty proud of the fact that he has improved defensively. His range has gotten better every year. A converted outfielder.
Schumacher may not be the defensive player that Descalzo is, but he's one of those players, always has been, that when it comes down to it, you want him on your side.
And he's a winner. He's a winner and a team leader.
3-1 to Kubel. Waves at a high fastball from Wainwright. Shift is on.
Freeze, third baseman, the only one on the left side of the infield, playing shortstop.
The 3-2. Hard hit up the middle, but that's where the shortstop for Call is, and he throws out Kubel. Had him played perfectly. Good inning for Wainwright. Center field, Allen Craig, Matt Holliday to follow. Beltran, Freeze, and Descalzo. Then Tony Cruz, the catcher, batting in the 7th spot. For Call, the shortstop, and Adam Wainwright pitching and batting 9th against the left-hander. 6-8, Joe Saunders.
Former #1 draft pick of the Angels, 12th overall in the 2002 draft, out of the Virginia Tech University. His 3rd year with the Diamondbacks, 6-8. He has pitched much better on the road. Basically a sinker ball pitcher, doesn't throw particularly hard. When he's on, he'll be able to hit his spots and get ground ball after ground ball.
Enjoying the game with Dad. John Jay, an 8-game hitting streak on the line tonight, takes ball 1 from Saunders. Saunders, a 200-plus inning guy. There's the 8-game hitting streak. And he actually had a hard time getting a job in the offseason. Despite being a solid workhorse type pitcher, for some reason teams just undervalue him. Jay says that ball hit off his foot, and he has convinced the home plate umpire, Jerry Meals, of that fact.
Take a look at this left-hander and his delivery. High leg kick. 3/4 delivery. Nothing fancy about it. Say that, it's his 3rd year with the Diamondbacks and 8th year in the major leagues. He was acquired in the Dan Herron deal. He was an all-star in 2008 when he had a career mark with 17 wins, a 3.41 ERA, 22 quality starts.
Jams John Jay, and they get him by a step at first. Defense for the Diamondbacks behind Saunders, Kubel, Young, and Upton in the outfield. Chris Johnson, Stephen Drew, Hill, and Goldschmidt on the infield. Miguel Montero, very good catcher behind the plate. In fact, second in the National League in caught stealing percentage behind our guy.
And not only does he have the ability to throw, but he's a very good offensive catcher.
The more you see Montero, the more impressed you are with him. Alan Craig, you'd say the same thing about him. Craig bounces out.
Cardinals have a good record when they face left-handed starters. That is a bit unusual and something we haven't seen for a few years. And they have a few guys that hit lefties very well.
And this is one of them.
Matt 1 for 3 last night with another monster home run.
Good fastball on the corner. One of our Toyota keys to the game is just what you're talking about. The left-handers have not fared very well against 3 Cardinals, Craig, Holiday, and Freese. All in the top 10 in the National League.
Touched on it last night, Ricky, but both these clubs are pretty good when they, break on top. Montero wants to go up the ladder, see him stand up almost, and that's not where he wanted. He wanted that pitch above the strike zone.
Saunders will pitch inside with his fastball, and he'll use his changeup away. His curveball is a bit of a slurve, halfway between a slider and a curveball.
And when he's on, he can hit the spots and keep the ball in the middle of the plate.
Swing and a miss. First strikeout of the night for the Cardinals. No score through 1. lucky fans allowed onto the field to take photos of your favorite players and coaches. Cardinals.com for tickets. And it'll be an exciting series against the Pirates. The Cardinals and the Pirates will be battling the rest of the way. High fly to right. Beltran has it.
Rick, the Cardinals and Pirates, with a Cardinal win and a Pirate loss, would be tied after tonight. And Kershaw and the Dodgers have a 5-2 lead in the 5th inning in Pittsburgh.
Pirates have struggled the last couple of weeks. Andrew McCutchen not swinging the bat quite as well in the month of August. I don't know how you swing it as well as he did the first 3 months. Justin Upton. Low numbers for him.
Picked it up the last 3 games, hitting over 400. Just a couple doubles and 1 RBI in those last 3. He hit his 100th career home run on August the 3rd at the Phillies. And his brother, BJ, also hit one a few minutes later, number 100.
Mom must have been happy that day. Both their sons hit their 100th career home run in the same day.
And it really was just minutes apart. His older brother, BJ, plays for the Rays. Looks like he's with grandparents, doesn't it? He got that foul ball, and
look at that, getting a picture taken. Maybe Al Raboski will sign that ball someday. Don't throw it, please. Don't throw it.
We've seen that too, haven't we? A ton. Of course, the Cardinal wives are selling baseballs today. There's a brown bag, $50. You could get all their husbands and fiancés signed baseballs. All goes to Lydia House, a nonprofit organization that helps out women and children of domestic abuse. So it's a great cause, and I know I'm going to be involved this weekend or Sunday in another special event. It's sold out, so you can't do it, but it's at the Fleming's Restaurant in Frontenac, and there's going to be 13 players, I think 12 wives. But that's to benefit Make-A-Wish. And this is a wife deal. They're going to drag along their husbands. Girls doing a lot of good work.
That's how it works. Base hit for Montero, our game's first hit. And as we said, this guy can swing the bat a little bit.
There's a cutter as he didn't get it quite far enough inside, left it down and in, but just a harmless single with 2 outs. Chris Johnson got off to a real fast start with his new team. He was hitting 286, but he had 5 home runs and 18 RBIs in 13 games, and he hit 5 home runs in his first 8 games, set a club record.
Cruz sets up outside, and Wainwright hits the spot. And that's what pitching is all about right there.
And I think, he's back to the point now where recovery from Tommy John surgery to where now he really, when he wants to hit a spot, he's pretty close to doing it.
Command is the word that baseball people use for that. 0-2, Wainwright set, and another good pitch just off the outside corner, and Gary Darling is the crew chief. He's at first base today.
You can't make a better 0-2 pitch than that.
Agreed.
You're just trying to just paint that corner down and away, making a perfect pitch. Maybe you get a hitter to expand the zone a little bit. So it's 1 ball, 2 strikes now, and the curveball to put him away.
Blocked by Cruz. And we've said this many times, but I think it bears repeating. When Tony Cruz is looking into the dugout, he is not having the pitches called when he does that.
There's no doubt that Yadier Molina is the best catcher. But Tony Cruz, you don't lose a whole lot. Calls a good game, still technically. There was an outstanding effort there, blocking that ball in the dirt, textbook style.
Cutter's fouled off.
And by the way, I got 2 of those brown bags. I got Yadier Molina's signature and also an Alan Craig, so I'm pretty happy.
Very nice.
Figure out which charity they're going to go to now. It's going to be a Cutter trying to break this ball off the plate.
Another good location. Descalzo has it. Throws out Johnson. Another good inning for Wainwright. Scratch single. No score through 1.5. The last 3 seasons, there have been 5 throughout Major League Baseball. The previous 20 seasons, just 6.
You know, when you look at that, think about how many complete games you had in years past, and yet the last 3 seasons you've had 5 perfect games. Almost half of all the perfect games have been in the last 23 seasons. And I think it's a reflection of hitters are misinformed when they think that, well, nothing, an out's an out. And with all the strikeouts that have piled up in the last 30, 40 years, everybody accepts strikeouts. And just kind of, in my mind, it's that they have all the techniques available to them, the video and all these different things, but I think they just don't trust their own instincts. Where hitters used to get defensive and they wanted to put the ball in play. The more balls you put in play, hits are going to happen.
Hard to believe only one other season with 2 perfect games in the same season. That was 2010.
Yeah.
And the first time that we've had 3.
Guys are throwing perfect games and might be their only complete game of the year.
So more managers out have to figure out what to do in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning of games where their pitcher may have a high pitch count. We saw that happen with Johan Santana in his no-hitter against the Cardinals.
And he's taken a toll since then.
Sure has. Beltran lines out. And brings in David Freese, who's 0 for his last 19, but still hitting .298.
Broken bat, little comeback liner that goes to Stephen Drew. See Saunders when he has that cutter working efficiently, you know, he can get in on the right-hand batters, break some bats.
Already looks sharper than when we saw him in Arizona. He seemed to be a little flat that particular day. Didn't seem to be throwing quite as hard as he is today.
He didn't last very long, did he? I think it was 3+ innings, 3 1/3 innings, 9 hits, 7 runs, 6 earned. Gave up 3 home runs in that game.
A lot of balls hit hard.
And I was asking Kurt Gibson, why is he so much better on the road? And a lot of that had to do with, he said, the altitude. People don't realize this, but you know, in Phoenix, that lighter air, the ball is second most offense to Colorado in Arizona.
Out number 2. 5 straight retired by Saunders. He looks sharp. Wainwright looks sharp. You started to talk about, Al, the way the Diamondbacks have been in games where they've scored first. The Cardinals, of course, all teams are better when they score first, but the Diamondbacks in particular, kind of a sign for them throughout the course of a game, whether they're going to win or not, is who gets on that scoreboard first.
Average about a run and a half better offense when they're playing at home than they do on the road.
40 and 15 when they score first. Loop to left, diving attempt, and he's got it. How about that play? Jason Kubel flashing the leather. He had a long way to go, and he holds on. Continues on a veteran-led service project in Belleville on Saturday. It's expected to be the largest project yet from the Summer Service Slam campaign. And we're going to need your help. Reserve your spot online at missioncontinues.org. Outstanding organization. Al has been a big part of that. Adam Wainwright back to work. Top of the 3rd. No score from St. Louis.
We saw grandparents with their grandson. Now we see a father. Time-honored tradition, isn't it?
Sure is.
How come the kid doesn't get him?
That's a very good question.
Chris Young got up to a great start, batting .410 for the first month of the season, then ran into the wall. Had a contusion of his right shoulder in 61 games since that time. He's hitting just .173.
Gerardo Parra played center field in game 1. He's been struggling of late. Bit of a platoon system going on. Young has always struck out a lot. 130 plus a season. But a very talented player when he's right. And he's going to need a new piece of lumber.
And that's what I was talking about, Rick, that, you know, now it's okay to strike out that much. And here you see the pitch that he gets sawed off. See if it's not right off the end of the bat. Good kindling wood there. Parra, who in his last 10 games is hitting .154.
Full count delivery is hit on the ground. Freeze backhand, just foul, says the third base umpire. Scott Berry did a nice job behind the plate last night.
Naked eye, I thought that ball was fair.
Very close.
Since David caught it, really wanted it to be fair.
He's going to need another bat.
So 3-2 count. Leadoff hitter, you really don't want to put him on, but a lot of pitchers today will throw a breaking ball on 3-2. See if that ball was fair or foul, and my eyes lied to me.
It's pretty close, though. Where it goes over the base
Right.
is what counts, and that was pretty close.
So I'm saying breaking ball. Fastball away, didn't want it, wants the cutter.
And the first walk for Wainwright. Leadoff runner aboard for the Diamondbacks. And we'll see if the Diamondbacks want to do some running. They don't really run a whole lot. In fact, less than the Cardinals do. 66 stolen bases as a team.
Caught 40 times.
Caught a lot of times, you bet. That's probably why they don't run a lot.
And you kind of think about, you know, they're waiting for the long ball. They've hit 122 home runs, but here's the sacrificing.
Nice bunt. Who's going to get it? Wainwright finally makes the play. It almost has looked as if all three players were yielding to each other. Finally, Wainwright reacted and made the play. Hitting the road, take Fox Sports Midwest coverage of the Cardinals with you wherever you go this season. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Cardinals out-of-market game live online and on your favorite connected devices in HD quality. Visit Cardinals.com to get more details. MLB.tv. Baseball everywhere.
Stephen Drew struck out to start this game. He was missed about a year with that bad ankle injury he suffered last year.
Fractured ankle. Came off the disabled list on the 27th of June and has not really gotten untracked yet.
And that incident happened on July 21st of a year ago. So nearly a full year on the DL. Potential free agent.
Wainwright curveball misses. Stephen Drew, one of three brothers, play in the big leagues. J.D. Drew, the name that all Cardinal fans know. Tim Drew pitched in the big leagues with the Indians and perhaps some other teams. But Stephen, the youngest of the three and very, very talented player, We recall him taking ground balls from Jose Oquendo, and JD played here as a high school student.
Correct.
He'd come out to visit JD, and they'd ride to the park together, and he'd take a lot of work with Oquendo.
Big difference is Steven's nickname is Dirt.
Played hard, plays hard.
JD's had a nice career, but I don't think he's ever been described that way.
Tim was a pitcher.
Tim was a pitcher. And I believe all three of them were first-round draft picks.
Wainwright behind in the count again. Young is the runner at second. He was sacrificed there by Joe Saunder. Diamondbacks trying to get on the board first. Swing and a miss. Wainwright pulls the string on the 3-1 count. This is confidence throwing this pitch at that time.
The curveball there, and there's been a few times already that Cruz has asked for the fastball, and Adams either gone to the breaking pitch, whether it's curveball or cutter. Got to use that fastball too, though. Just spot it well.
Hard hit to left. Holiday backing up some more, makes the play. Young tags, heads to third. Close play there.
David Freese was in that deking mood.
Sure was.
All right.
Holiday had some ground to cover there.
I think the ball kind of drifted back on him where he kept on having to adjust, so didn't really have this momentum coming forward, but still a strong throw. His throwing and his defensive fielding have really improved since he's come over from Oakland.
And that throw was essentially flat-footed because of having to take that extra step or two back. So a strong throw from Holiday. Young now the runner at third. Aaron Hill has hit for the cycle twice this year. Not sure what's more odd, one player hitting for the cycle twice in the same month, or 3 perfect games in the same season. Not really sure what the odds would be.
He's the second player in modern Major League history to hit 2 cycles in a season. Babe Herman, Brooklyn Robbins did it in 1931. I don't know if I ever heard of them. Heard of him, but not the Robbins.
Me neither. Off the top of the Cardinals dugout and a souvenir. Wainwright looking for that strikeout pitch here, facing Aaron Hill.
He's hit about 200 in his last 8 games. 6 for 30.
In his 7th year in the big leagues, big numbers in Toronto. 36 home runs in 09 for Aaron Hill.
14 today.
Curveball hit on the ground on the left side. Furcal has it. High throw handled by Alan Craig. Wainwright gets out of it. Works around a leadoff walk. Still no score. wireless receiver from AT&T U-verse. Visit att.com/free your TV. Rethink possible. MyKiaSt.Louis.com. And get the All-American Jack Combo at Jack in the Box. It's a no-nonsense burger with fries and a drink for only $4.99 plus tax at participating stores. Welcome back to Busch Stadium. No score. Bottom of the third inning. Diamondbacks and the Cardinals. Game 2 of a 3-game series. 9-game homestand for the Cardinals. And a very important homestand it is.
This is Tony Cruz's 20th start of the season. And starting to swing the bat a little bit. On Sunday, he was 2 for 5 with a double.
Pops this one up in front of the Cardinals dugout. Out number 1, Jim Hayes has a very special guest with him. Fans of the Blues know this name, Alex Pietrangelo, one of the best young players in all of hockey. Jim, glad you got him for a few minutes.
Yeah, we do, and what a run the Blues went on last year. Hopefully the season gets started on time. How excited are you and your teammates to get another shot and get back to it?
Well, I think you got to be pretty excited after coming off what we did last year. Obviously a big improvement what we've been building off over the years. Hopefully everything pans out here with the new bargaining agreement and we get the fans excited for the opening day. But until that time, locking up guys like Ocean Perry and signing Stewie again, I mean, that's just a sign that this team's ready to win again.
Before we went live, you were telling me something about the stadium.
I mean, it's every time I walk in here, it's one of the most beautiful stadiums I've seen, and it's a pleasure to come here and watch the game, and they're always putting on a good show, that's for sure.
In St. Louis, the pro teams, we see a base hit. The pro teams support each other, and we see Cardinal players coming to see Blues games. I know Matt Holliday's a regular, Chris Carpenter's a regular, David Freese, and you guys support the Cardinals as well.
Well, it's good to have that. I mean, you want to see other guys succeed, and I'll go to Rams games, I'll go to the Cardinals games in the summer. It's just unfortunately last year we didn't get a chance to see that World Series win. We were stuck in Edmonton and Calgary that weekend, but to have that support for each other, it's tough to find, and it's fun to be a part of.
Well, hopefully everything gets worked out and you guys can start playing hockey soon, because I know we're all excited about that. Thanks, Alex.
Worst comes to worst, so hopefully we turn on another World Series.
Nice. All right, guys, back to you.
I love it, Jim. Thanks, and thanks, Alex, for taking a few minutes with us, and go Blues.
Ricky, I know you know who the executive director now of the Hockey Players Association. Maybe you don't.
Don Fehr. I do know that.
Donald Fehr. And
Don Fehr uses 3 words in every sentence that most human beings have never heard before.
Well, I know that yesterday the players did make a proposal, and hopefully that will lead, to an agreement. I was talking with Dan on the last road trip, and we were just, how could they sacrifice another labor situation? They missed a year few years ago, and so hopefully they'll get things straightened out.
Wainwright, chance for an RBI here for call, 1-out double. And nice to see Alex Pietrangelo here at the ballpark, and as he said, a number of Cardinals big hockey fans. Everyone, fans of the St. Louis sports scene. Fans here would erupt if Wainwright can connect. Ahead in the count, 2-1.
Early in the season, Adam really did not swing the bat very well, but in the last couple starts, he's picked up 3 RBIs. He's a very good athlete, still batting over 200 in his career with 5 home runs. And now, as he's pitching better, his hitting has picked up.
Swing and a miss. Wainwright strikes out. Second victim for Saunders. So it'll be up to John Jay if the Cardinals are going to score here in the third. This MLB on Fox season, Fox Sports is proud to support Boys and Girls Club of America, a place where youth can reach their full potential as productive, caring, and responsible citizens. To learn more, please visit greatfutures.org/Fox Sports. You love to see kids at the ballpark. They watch the game with innocent eyes, a lot of hope, rooting for their world champions. And connecting with dad and mom. The 1-1 to Jay, misses inside, 2-1.
Mentioned John Jay has an 8-game hitting streak. Sometimes a guy have an 8-game hitting streak will have 8 or 9 hits, but not John Jay. During his 8 games hitting streak, he has 17 hits, batting over 500. That's hot.
We like him in that leadoff spot too. Running the bases well, 13 for 15 in stolen bases. The average is up over 300. And then again, you look at this Cardinals lineup and whose average isn't over 300. It's been a very productive team.
Jay's major league best 531 average since August 6th, ranking second in those 17 hits.
First walk for Saunders. Cardinals offense, Al, has been a bit feast or famine, and we talk about this team either just exploding with runs or then maybe getting shut out or shut down at least. Beltran, Freese, and Descalzo, as an example of this, collectively are 1 for their last 45. So when they don't hit collectively, it's because there's certain guys that just go into long slumps. But
Sure.
then when they break out, they really break out.
Well, our last night's ball game was a close affair until late in that ball game. Then the Cardinals just piled on. But you're right, for as good offense as the Cardinals have, I think it's 31 times they've scored 3 runs or less.
So is it fair to say that streaky teams are made up of streaky players?
True. John Jay has just been outstanding in delivering in the clutch. Two out base hits win you a lot of games.
Good at bat for Jay. You usually get a good at bat from Alan Craig. The 1-0. Fly ball to right. Long way to run for Upton, but he squeezes it. Cardinals strand 2 onto the 4th. No score. difference maker for the Cardinals in Game 2. John Jay was the man last night.
I want to see competition for that. Adam Wainwright will be a good choice. And then we'll pick out the 3 offensive stars. I got 3 guys
I like it.
leading the charge.
Have any clear ideas in that crystal ball of yours, Al?
I like the way that when we showed the graphic earlier about the 3 guys that hit left-handers very well.
Right.
I think that's a pretty good little trio. Holiday, Freese, and Craig. Now Beltran, or Holiday, I think his last 3 home runs have been in the 5th inning. That's probably close to when he'd come up again.
We will see Holiday in the 4th. Holiday, Beltran, and Freese.
He's going to hit 4th and 5th.
I like it. I like the way you're thinking. Middle of the order for Wainwright as well.
Kind of gotten away from Beltran's home run innings.
Much more effective in the first 3.
Right.
Both batting average wise and home run wise. Wainwright is 4-3 with a 2.48 ERA against the Diamondbacks lifetime. There is a different mound presence, command for Wainwright than 2 months ago. That's plain to see.
And what it all boils down to is now he knows he can make pitches. Before he was just trying to see if his arm would hold up, but he couldn't execute location. Now he can.
Wainwright has been hitting his spots very well tonight.
And it's all about using all your pitches, but in, out, up, down. You know, just there's a defensive swing. A little ground ball in the infield, he's going to be out of there. And I think that Adam now, in his mind, when he wants to throw a ball down and away, he can do it with his fastball, his curveball, and that cutter. Inside, he can do it with fastball. But
a long one to left, and I mean a long one. Off the bat of Paul Goldschmidt, his 17th home run of the season. 1-0 D-backs.
He almost has legendary power for a young hitter, and here you're going to see it's supposed to be an inside fastball, but he doesn't get it inside, and he jumped all over it.
Wainwright trying to get ahead,
trying to get it inside, and look where that ball is.
I understand the legendary power comment. Breaking pitch, strike 1 to Upton.
It's only the 12th home run that Wainwright has allowed in almost 150 innings.
And the good news is, if you're going to allow a home run, you want it to be a solo shot.
There's a lot of guys in the Hall of Fame that gave up a lot of home runs, but they were solo shots. I remember Bob Gibson, seeing him in one game, gave up 4 home runs, but he won 5-4.
Good fastball from Wainwright. Cardinals will play the Pirates this weekend, then the Astros come to town. Very important 9-game homestand.
And they got the Houston Astros. Then they go to a tough road trip.
I'll say
3 winning clubs, starting with Cincinnati.
Then they go to Pittsburgh for 3.
And Washington.
And close out with a 4-game series in Washington. And that team that we've been expecting to fold a bit just doesn't seem to be doing that. Good cutter from Wainwright. 2 strikeouts in the inning. But he has allowed the home run to Paul Goldschmidt. And that is the difference in this game.
Washington is, they're going to fade away. Got their very good pitching, starting to get some of their healthy players. Worth is back now. Desmond's had a great year. Bryce Harper, I wouldn't like to see him. I know he's faded a little bit, but still, say a very exciting young player, only 19 years of age. Morris is healthy.
Of all that, like Strasburg, I just like their bullpen in general. Their bullpen is
and one of the
lights
things
out.
And one of the things about them is, you know, they got so many strikeouts in that bullpen.
Two-0 pitch, grounded up the middle, but Furcal has to try to backhand it as he's shifting to the right side for Montero. That's Montero's second hit of the night, and the third for the Diamondbacks.
Right before that pitch was made, he went from the shortstop side to where he is now on the second base side of the bag, and then he has to go run to his right. Would have been a very difficult throw to catch that ball and then reverse totally around to throw it, but Montero's 2 for 2.
The home run by Goldschmidt. Somebody got their tape measure out, and 456 feet is the official distance, which makes it the longest home run by a visiting player in Busch Stadium 3 history. Dan Uggla had the previous mark. But that bomb off the bat of Goldschmidt, 456 feet.
Wasn't quite like the home run that McGuire hit off Levon Hernandez that went off the Post Dispatch sign at the old stadium, or what Strawberry did to our good friend. Should we say his name?
Yes, we should, because I want folks to know that it wasn't me. It was Ken Daly.
Ken Daly.
And of course, he always responds that you have to throw hard
to throw it that far,
to give up a home run that far. So clearly it wasn't me.
And when you give up one like that, you got to be proud of it. And that went off the right field scoreboard. What about hit the clock area?
Yeah, we like to say it broke the clock. I'm not sure it really did, but that's the way we tell the story, because it was a blast. 2-2 the count. Third baseman Chris Johnson at the plate, waves at a breaking ball. Another strikeout for Wainwright. He now has 4. But the difference in this game, the home run by Goldschmidt. He has the strange stance, but he has the very, very good power. 1-0 D-backs.
Of his bat just pointing towards the ground. Now, they wanted to get this ball up and in because you just don't think he can turn on it. Didn't quite get there, and you get the extension. You know, it looks like he's not going to have a quick bat, but you can see how quickly he got it through the zone with tremendous power, and he's given the Diamondbacks a 1-0 lead.
123 home runs as a team on the season, just 3 behind the Cardinals. Both teams good in the power department, don't run a lot. High average. Cardinals starting staff has been much better. But the Diamondbacks still believe they have an opportunity to catch some teams in front of them in the wild card. And they are not out of the West race. Trailing the Dodgers and the Giants by 5.5 games. Matt Holliday, Carlos Beltran, and David Freese in the Cardinals' 4th.
With the suspension of Melky Cabrera for 50 games, you know, the Giants were already offensively challenged. That is going to really hurt them. For a guy that gets a lot of ground balls, he's getting a lot of pop-ups.
Sure is. Starting at 4:45 every Friday home game, 200 autograph line tickets will be distributed at the new Busch Bash gate located next to Gate 5. Only fans with the line tickets will receive an autograph at Busch Bash. Ozzie Smith's going to be here on Friday. Visit cardinals.com/promotions for more details. Whitey Herzog at the ballpark tonight. And you can bet he is watching this game intently. He does not casually watch a game. He knows what's going on. He understands his team. He's a fan. And it was so good to see him in spring training.
Is Whitey coming to the Legends camp?
He is coming to the Legends camp. How about that news?
Yes.
Hard hit to left. This ball is down and in the corner. Beltran headed to second. He'll get there easily. A 1-out double for Beltran. Snaps an 0 for 9.
Cardinals have 2 hits. Both of them are doubles. Both of them are coming 1 out. So Beltran just drops the bat head, and that ball just rifles into the left field corner. David Freese was one of my 3. Can he drive in Beltran from scoring position?
Freese 0 for his last 20. Balance was a bit off yesterday. And as hitters will tell you, I mean, the balance is sometimes the symptom. The cause often is just not seeing the ball well. And that's what throws you off balance. I mean, you would say, well, just get your balance. It's that simple. Well, it's not simple. Times where you're just not picking up the spin on the ball. You're not seeing the break quickly enough.
And it's you know, as you said, Freese 0 for 20, but he came off a real high. You know, he led the major leagues with a 458 batting average, 562 on base percentage. Had a career high hit streak that ended on August 1st. And part of what got him going was having good enough balance to where he saw the ball and started receiving a ton of walks. That's why he had that on base percentage so high. If you start walking, the hits will come, because all of a sudden now you're swinging at pitches that you could hit, and borderline pitches you're taking.
Hard hit to left. It's long. It's deep. And it's gone. Home run, David Freese. 2-1, St. Louis. How's that for balance?
How's that for breaking a slump? 16th home run, RBI 65 and 66. And the Cardinals now have a 2-1 lead. And what a pretty swing.
just like that, it's 2-1 St. Louis with one swing of the bat. Bunt attempt, foul by Daniel Descalzo. One more look at that shot. A towering shot by David Freese.
How he used his wrist and forearms on that swing. And as you said, he got it underneath it, towering, and went to the back of the visitors' bullpen. Should go down and lift up. Great finish and follow through.
He's just trying to be a Schnucks difference maker, isn't he?
He was one of the ones I pricked.
I know you did. I was listening. 1-1 to Descalzo, 0 for 1. And a solid part-time player for Mike Matheny. Versatile, runs well, fields well. And that feels good when you break that slump. You know you can do it. You just want to get back on track as soon as possible. And that ball's booted by Goldschmidt. A couple of errors in game one for the Diamondbacks. They were both made by the pitcher Ian Kennedy. Cardinals broke the game open after some of those errors. They won that game 8-2 here last night. Now an error by Goldschmidt.
It's his 6th error of the season and only their 69th. But he had so much time there. He tried to do everything. Got down on one knee, wanted to use two hands. Ball came up on him a little bit and he couldn't handle it.
Tony Cruz spelling Yadier Molina out of this game with some back tightness. We saw that rear its ugly head in game one of this series. Yadi running on the bases looked a little bit off and found out that he was dealing with some tightness in his lower back, so given the night off here in game two. Hard hit, right center field. Upton, the good speed, runs it down. This week on Toyota Cardinals Live, it's Numbers Week. We look back at the numbers that former Cardinals wore and the stories behind them. Toyota Cardinals Live tomorrow at 6:30, followed by the Cardinals and Diamondbacks. Coverage will begin at 7 o'clock on Fox Sports Midwest. Ball well hit by Tony Cruz. Thought that may have a chance of getting in the gap. Run down by Upton. Rafael Furcal doubled in the Cardinals' third. Ground ball to the left side. Johnson, who has 17 errors of his own, fields that one flawlessly, but the Cardinals get on the scoreboard, take the lead 2-1. team with 3 hits. And we zoom in on Big Mac Land. That reminds us that Cardinal fans are offered $1 off discounts on McCafe products at all St. Louis McDonald's restaurants. That'll happen from 2 to 5 every day at McDonald's. And maybe a chocolate shake. How about a strawberry banana smoothie? A lot of good choices at McDonald's.
Goldschmidt hits a home run off of Wainwright in the 4th inning. Then David Freese helps out Wainwright's cause with a 2-run home run to give him the lead. Wainwright's last 4 starts at home, he's 4-0 with a 1.53 ERA coming into tonight.
And you get that lead, you got to go out pumping strikes and getting people out.
He came into tonight's action with his ERA at 3.90. That's the first time all season it's been under 4. So he's going in the right direction.
Curveball hit hard to center field. Jay on the move, and he makes the play over his shoulder. Covers a lot of ground. Had that one in his sights for a long time and was able to bring it home.
Nowhere near as exciting as last night. And remember earlier in the season, he goes back and he'd be challenged and runs into this wall to his right shoulder, as he just really never felt like the transition going from grass to the warning track. He thought he was still had another step or two. But it was what I really liked about last night's game is after having a collision right there, he wasn't afraid to go challenge that wall again, and he made a circus catch. Had to become a juggler to hold on to that one, and just one more Webb gem.
Would not have been surprised if he was a little shy going after that ball.
Right.
Up the middle, tough play for Descalzo, and he throws out the pitcher Saunders.
John Jay has the most Webb gems, and then you got Descalzo, so he's trying to show you another one. As not only the range, but he's got a really strong arm, and he needs to use it here, right back over the middle. Look at him get to that ball, but then he's got a reverse direction. Jumps up a little bit to get a little bit behind his throw, but he's got that superior arm strength, and he makes another great play.
Starting to see a little bit more comfort with Alan Craig at first base too. He just seems to be more capable, more comfortable, more at ease playing first base. The way he stretches, the way he moves, the way he doesn't look tentative at all, and it just seems that he just keeps getting better and better defensively.
They always knew he could hit, but it was kind of like, where do you find a position for him? You know, he played third base for quite a while in the minor leagues. Then you start looking for the outfield, the corner outfield spots. How many first basemen did, you know, Albert Pujols block? How many guys did Stan Musial keep in the minor leagues?
And that's part of what happens in the minor leagues that we don't really talk about that very much, but there'll be a player in the minor leagues who's hitting up a storm, and you'll think, well, okay, he's a first baseman. Where else can he play? Because our guy's pretty good. Or if you're a shortstop behind Ozzie Smith, you get a middle infielder in the minor leagues who's hitting well, and you think, well, can he play second? Can he play third? Can he play the outfield? Because you know that he's blocked. How would you like to be a left fielder in the Cardinals organization right now?
The good thing is, if you can hit, they'll find a spot for you.
You bet they will. Good inning for Wainwright. booth question comes from Todd in O'Fallon, Missouri. Do you like the new wild card format more, that it gives the Cardinals a better shot to get into postseason this year? Wild card format, 2 now in each league. We'll have a one-game playoff. What do you think, Al?
Well, I think that's the one thing as you look at the standings. And, of course, Pittsburgh is losing big tonight to the Dodgers. And the Cardinals win. Not only will they gain a game on Pittsburgh and be right there at the top, but they also would be tied in the Central Division in second place with Pittsburgh. You know, it was almost, yeah, I'm not a fan of adding a team, but I am a fan of the fact that it was too easy for the wild card teams.
Right.
You know, a club that be on a roll like the Cardinals, and then all of a sudden they get into postseason, they just carry it forward. So now it really penalizes and makes it better for the division winners, where the 2 wild cards will have to play that one-game playoff. You might have to use your best pitcher to get to that one-game playoff, and then you have to use whatever you have left to do that playoff, and then you probably are in a situation, if you win that, you go into the next series with your third best pitcher is going to be available. So I do like that aspect, that it strengthens the winners, the division winners, and makes their route a little easier.
Wainwright strikes out for the second time. That's 3 strikeouts for the left-hander Saunders, who's pitched pretty well. You take away that David Freese home run, and he's pitching quite a ball game, working here in the 5th. Not overpowering, like his mound presence. The Arizona Diamondbacks media folks talk about him having very good mound presence and command and control of a game.
He's just a different pitcher when he's on the road. He's got the 4th lowest ERA on the road. It's 2.49. 1 game under 500, 2-3 record, but a very good ERA.
Nine-game homestand for the Cardinals. How many wins do you need? Everybody's going to have their answer to that.
7 would be what I almost think is you have to do 7 or better.
So minimum.
Yes.
7 victories.
You got to win both series, and you got to sweep, and you got to sweep Houston.
Pretty good plan.
That comes up with your 7, but you win this game here, then you sweep Arizona, and the Pittsburgh is reeling. You got Kyle Loesch and his 12-2 record on the mound tomorrow.
Another Cardinals strikeout here in the 5th. That's about the pace the Cardinals are at since the 1st of July. 18-5 at home.
That tailing movement inside. Alan Craig is going to get on, and then I'm going to get my 5th inning home run by Holiday.
Cardinals have played well at home this season. Look at the best 5 teams in all of baseball at home.
But that's really been since July, really, hasn't it? They didn't have that strong a home record early in the season, but they're making up for it now.
3 of those teams in the National League Central Division.
Yeah, the problem is Cincinnati has the best record at home, and Pittsburgh had the 2nd best. The Cardinals were 3rd. But Pittsburgh are reeling, and Cardinals are sailing.
The Reds will not be easy to catch.
But the Cardinals have the ability, the games they have head-to-head against them, to do it.
Two 2-0 to Craig. Well hit to center field. This ball is deep, and this ball is gone. Alan Craig, his 18th home run. And the Cardinals lead 3-1.
That's 2 of my 3. And I think I said Holiday was going to hit a home run in the 5th. Alan Craig just continues to drive in runs.
I'm going to start calling you a genius if he goes deep.
Off the pitcher's hand.
And I'm so glad I don't have to call you a genius. Alan Craig, a big fly the other way, showing his power with 2 outs. An instant rally, goes down and gets it, and extends the Cardinals' lead to 3-1. Home run hit by Alan Craig in the bottom of the 5th inning. David Freese, a 2-run shot in the 4th, and it's 3-1 St. Louis, and they're checking out the pitching hand of Joe Saunders. Last at bat in the inning, Matt Holliday grounded one back to him. He hit it hard, and the ball caught Saunders on his hand, and it looked as if his day may be done, but no action in the Diamondbacks bullpen. He seems to be okay.
He's left-handed. He's a stud.
He's tough. He's in the club.
When he was walking off, he had the hand behind his back, and it looked like the base of the thumb. You could see it already swelling. And now they're kind of tinkering with see if he can get a grip. But look at the thumb area, how swollen it is.
He's
and I'm
testing
really,
it.
Really surprised they don't have somebody warming up. But so right back in the middle, he tries to barehanded. He deflects it over to the second baseman. They throw him out. But look at the thumb, the base of the thumb.
Went into the dugout, put a towel over his thumb, and then left the dugout.
They didn't put ice on it. But he's obviously feeling it. 2-run home run by Freese, and a solo shot by Alan Craig, counting for all 3 Cardinal runs.
Base hit up the middle for Aaron Hill, and that's how the Diamondbacks' 6th begins. It brings in Jason Kubel. Want to be here in person next time your Cardinals take the field? Just head to StubHub, where it's easy to find the seats you want to see the Cardinals in action all season long. StubHub is the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the St. Louis Cardinals. Well-pitched ball game so far. All runs in this game have scored via the home run.
Kubel really got hot in July, hit 11 home runs to lead the National League. and he tied for second with Holiday with 22 RBIs, but hitting just 164 in his last 16 games.
Cardinals plan to pull on the infield. Open stance. 25 home runs, 77 RBIs for Kubel. Quick snap throw. Back is Aaron Hill, who has 8 stolen bases in 11 attempts. Curveball is fouled off. Kyle Loesch and Trevor Cahill will pitch the finale of this series. And Jake Westbrook and James McDonald will start game 1 on Friday night. Big games against the Pirates. Good fastball misses the inside corner. 2-1.
Had a nice career in Minnesota after hitting .320 in the minor leagues. That's almost 1,700 at bats.
Hard hit to center. This is trouble. Jay almost overruns it, gets it in a hurry, and keeps Kubel from advancing to second base. That was not an easy play by John Jay, as that ball hit, then spun and almost got behind him, and he barehanded it and made a nice play getting that ball in quickly.
It took a funny hop as it first hit, and then it almost spun behind him. As you said, he barehands it and then he gets it back in. So to hold Kubel to a single, pretty nifty. But Adam Wainwright in a little bit of trouble right now. After this single, back-to-back singles, they have first and third and nobody out. Activity for the Cardinal bullpen as Fernando Salas starts to throw. He finished up the game last night, pitching in the 9th inning.
Goldschmidt homered his last at bat, and Wainwright paints him with a cutter on the outside corner. Goldschmidt's home run, 456 feet. As we mentioned, the longest home run now as a visitor at Busch Stadium 3. Dan Uggla had that mark. Wild swing at another breaking pitch, and I would guess that he would see another one of those with that swing.
Well, the one thing you throw enough curveballs, it's just a matter of percentages. You're going to hang one. So make sure it's a good one, because this kid could swing the bat. Another curveball.
The 0-2. Hit on the ground to third. Freeze to second for one. On to first. And the double play is completed. The Diamondbacks pick up a run, but the Cardinals get 2 outs in the trade.
I'd be more than happy to give them their second run to get 2 outs right here. Clean up the bases. Scalzo with a strong throw just nips Goldschmidt at the wire.
Close play. He runs very well too. He has that power, but he also has stolen 11 bases. Pretty good numbers for a young first baseman. Justin Upton is 0 for 2 against Wainwright. We had no score through 3 innings in this game, and the Cardinals with 2 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th. Diamondbacks scored first in the top of the 4th and just added a run here. trailing St. Louis 3-2.
Wainwright is due up 6 in the bottom of the 6th inning, but he may be his last few pitches as his pitch count is running near 100. It's 97. Still trying to worry about that thumb.
Nice play by Furcal. Spins and throws out Upton. Wainwright gets through 6. And he's still holding a 1-run lead. Cardinals have made some nice defensive plays, including this one by Rafael Furcal. Midwest is brought to you by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. And by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. Beautiful night for baseball at Busch Stadium. Cardinals maintaining a 3-2 lead, and Joe Saunders somehow is back out there again after getting hit on the left hand by a hard hit ball by Matt Holliday.
Stirring in the bullpen for Kirk Gibson, and it appears that Wainwright's night is through after 6 innings as Mujica is warming up, the 7th inning man.
I am very surprised that Saunders is back out there. Not surprised so much that Mujica is up.
You know, Adams probably right a pitch or two under 100.
98 would be a pitch or two under 100.
Yeah, and
good with numbers, Al. Way to go.
I didn't have that Virginia. You know, Saunders from Virginia Tech, so
and that's kind of like the enemy. You know what I mean?
Oh, is it?
Oh yeah.
No. I'll have to go talk to him tomorrow.
In fact, he may not talk.
Bring you an autograph.
He may not talk to me.
Well, after I talk to him, he won't. You love it, a gamer, as we call it. You know, a guy that is not looking for 5 and fly. He wants to go up there, put in another 0. Hopefully his team will come behind and get him off the hook, or possibly a win.
Most impressed I've ever been with a Hokie. Strikeout of Beltran. Good off-speed pitch. What's on Tap is always brought to you by our very good friends at Budweiser. Tomorrow, the Diamondbacks and the Cardinals will go at it again. Trevor Cahill, 9-10. Kyle Oates, 12-2, having a very good season for St. Louis. Our coverage begins at 6:30 on Fox Sports Midwest.
Kyle with the 12-2 record, the best winning percentage in the National League, and I think we can make the case that he probably should have 3 or 4 extra wins.
Agreed. And how about the Cardinals' starting staff as a whole? 4 starters with 10 or more wins. Joe Kelly's done a good job. Jaime Garcia's coming back.
Well, how about, and Garcia will pitch on Sunday, and Joe Kelly will be moved into the bullpen. That was confirmed today. They will not bring Garcia to the active roster until Sunday, so there's no move until that time. How to activate him, I got my thoughts, but
Fly ball to right. And of course, when September 1st rolls around, you'll be able to expand the rosters anyway. So
sure,
you'll be able to carry more pitchers, really probably 2 or 3 more.
And the guy I'm thinking that'll be sent down will be right back in September.
And as we've seen in this game, a lot happens between now and Sunday.
Oh yeah, you just really no reason to even name somebody, because always a possibility somebody gets hurt. I remember during my playing days, people would always, how's this guy going to be activated? Who's going to go down? And sure enough, somebody get hurt.
2-out hit for Descalzo. His first hit of the night. The definitive ranking of the Cardinals' top 25 World Series highlights is presented in the 2012 Cardinals yearbook entitled Red October Classics. This is a must-have for every collection. It's available now at cardinals.com/publications, area grocers, convenience stores, or you can call 314-345-9303, and it is a wonderful publication. Had a chance to vote on those 25 great moments in Cardinals history, and there's more than really you can put in just 25, but the top 25 are rated, and it's a must-have.
84 pitches thrown, and Cincinnati wins again. And not only do they win over the Mets, but they beat R.A. Dick. He now 15-4 as Mike Leake won his 5th game. Kershaw started the game in Pittsburgh against the Pirates, and they moved to the 9th inning where the Dodgers are leading 9-3.
Another move to first. Descalzo has 4 stolen bases, but they're treating him like Ricky Henderson right now. Or Lou Brock.
Herb Washington.
Or Herb Washington. I don't know why I said Ricky Henderson. No affront to Lou Brock, who's really my favorite base stealer.
In case people forget about Herb Washington, a world-class sprinter, who Charlie Finley and the A's had him as a designated base stealer. So somebody get on base and they put in Herb Washington and he'd get picked off.
It'd be like signing Usain Bolt.
Correct.
I'd like to see him try to steal second.
From Jamaica, you know, I have seen baseball fields in Jamaica, but not really known for their baseball players.
You look for a good player, you look for a 5-tool player, and speed is one of those tools. Fans love it when a pitcher throws over more than twice, don't they?
Oh, yeah.
They just love it.
And sometimes I even threw over where the guy's standing on the bag just to get people upset.
Oh, Al. I don't know what to say to that, Al, except that it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, you know. Didn't have a good move, but you couldn't steal one.
So you're just being a little defiant is what you were being.
What the heck? It's on the bag, but he might jump off. But Lou Brock, talking about a great base stealer and still the National League stolen base record holder.
Base hit to right for Cruz. Another 2-out hit.
I was going to say, Lou Brock, with Saunders throwing so many pitches over there, he'd found the secret of how to steal off of this particular left-hander just because he showed him so many different moves.
Lou's probably watching the telecast right now and has that in his memory bank.
Absolutely.
If he ever gets on against Joe Saunders in an old-timers
game, he knows what what the trigger mechanism is. And good base stealers, they'd love to steal off a left-hander because they're looking right at him. There's another Maja. Charles Nagy of Hungarian descent. Very good pitcher.
Realize. No wonder you guys are buds. Had some very good years with the Cleveland Indians.
He did. Albers, who a couple times warmed up last night, I think got in the game also, was warming up for the Diamondbacks.
So I'm guessing the Diamondbacks don't believe in the lip reading thing. We don't have the gloves over the faces. And when's the last time you saw that?
Well, you might have been just a conversation asking about his thumb.
Right.
You did have the umpire out there, and I'm sure because of the way he went out there, it's going to count as an official visit. And you can see still flexing that hand, trying to get a little feel to the thumb. Thumb is very important for a pitcher.
Grip beneath the ball.
Right.
Really foundational.
Sure. In a lot of ways, it's that keeps the ball from sliding left to right. It helps with the direction.
Cardinals already have two-out hits. Descalzo, the runner at second.
If they can extend this inning, Shane Robinson will pinch hit for Wainwright.
Hard hit to right. Is it fair? You bet it is. And into the corner. Descalzo scores. Here comes Tony Cruz. Play is at third, and he is safe at third. A triple for Rafael Furcal, hugging the bag.
It's his third triple, and he had one last night, didn't he? Third triple on the year, and back-to-back games with a triple. This one scores 2. Saunders tries to gut it out. That's his 45 or 46 RBIs. And boy, those are 2 big runs. And now Shane Robinson will try and drive in for Kyle.
43, Shane Robinson pitch hitting for Wainwright. Lineup Wainwright, 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, 1 home run.
Robinson 7 for 32 as a pinch hitter.
6 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs earned, 1 walk, 5
6 innings, 5 hits for Wainwright, 2 runs, both of them earned. 1 walk and 5 strikeouts. Solid performance for Wainwright. Here's a fly ball into the gap in right center, run down by Young. Cardinals pick up 2 more here in the 6th in support of Adam Wainwright. 5-2. solid innings for him the second half of the season. All 7 of his starts have been at least 6 innings. In fact, 4 of them 7 or more, in contrast to the first half of the season where his 18 starts, 11 times he went 6 or more. So Adam Wainwright on a roll here in the second half, and he will be relieved by Edward Mujica, who is the Mid-America Chevy Dealers call to the bullpen. Mujica has been very solid as a Cardinal. He has been brought to this club to be the 7th inning guy, and that's where he finds himself here tonight. Mujica making his 48th appearance. ERA of 3.83, had a couple of saves with the Marlins. Didn't really want to leave the Marlins. Was comfortable there, liked South Beach, but he'll like it if he can help this Cardinal bullpen catch fire over the next 45 games or so.
He's done a very good job. He's unscored upon the first 6 outings, and 5 of those have been holds. I think part of the reason why he wasn't 100% happy is because he had a new baby.
Right.
And I think his wife gave birth to their first child in July, and so it's kind of like, I'm leaving my family, and that, one of those human elements right there that you may say something, it gets picked up, and kind of, if you think about it a little bit, you go, well, I probably shouldn't have said it.
Certainly
really mean it.
Certainly was not critical of St. Louis.
No.
But just the logistical issues that brought him with a new baby were difficult to deal with, and part of the life of being a big league.
Yeah, and he also said that, it's a business, and I have to understand that.
Right.
But from a family standpoint, it wasn't ideal. But now our great Mr. Trokey, Professor Trokey.
I know him well.
Well, I thought he came up with a stat that when Mujica pitches in back-to-back days, he really has his problems. Let's hope that's not true.
We saw him for 2/3 of an inning in game 1 here last night. Gave up a scratch single to Gerardo Parra, but then struck out Stephen Drew to end the 7th inning. So you'd expect to see Mujica, Boggs, and Mott.
And Zepchinski, if you need a left-handed specialist, he is warming up now.
Kubel would be the guy you think he might see eventually.
I got some pinch hitters on that bench also. Ryan Wheeler, Parra. So Zepchinski could see somebody hit for Saunders. Or they could just kind of switch things around in any play.
Mujica has only walked 9 batters in 44 innings this year.
Gets his fair share of ground balls.
Nothing infuriates you more than a late inning walk if you're a manager.
I think when a team is down and somebody comes in and starts walking people, that just kind of tells that the team is down, that they got a chance, and all of a sudden they feel a lot more comfortable. Inside fastball, 3-2.
Gets in the kitchen and gets a very tough hitter, Miguel Montero, to fly out to John Jay for 1 out here in the 7th inning. Cardinals bullpen, in my mind, will be a huge factor in what happens over the next 45 days. Bullpen has been up and down. The starting staff has been solid all year. The offense has been solid.
Well, the offense is tremendous, but when you see all the 300 hitters and you see the amount of runs scored, you just wonder sometimes why they can't score more than 2 or 3 runs.
Good start for Mujica. The NFL is back, and Fox's preseason coverage begins on Thursday. The Bengals take on the Falcons, and on Friday the Lions head to Baltimore. We're off against the Ravens. Coverage of both games begins at 7 p.m. only on Fox.
Holland wins again for Atlanta.
with the multiple teams in this wild card, we thought it was confusing last year what team to root for down the stretch, because you're actually rooting for and against a number of teams. With more teams in the wild card race, we're going to have all kinds of confusion over the next few weeks, but we welcome it. A lot of teams aren't really paying attention to the scoreboard right now.
And I think it's, you know, you still, as your mindset is, you're trying to chase down, you know, Cincinnati. Ryan Wheeler, the young third baseman we saw in last night's game, is on deck. If Chris Young can extend the inning, Albers continues to throw in the bullpen, so you assume he's coming in.
Young has walked and flown out to center field. Check swing. Doesn't offer at that high delivery. Mujica could not get him to chase.
At the trade deadline, the Cardinals added Mujica and Brian Fuentes. Well, we know Fuentes is on the restricted list now, but Mujica hasn't done anything to disappoint. And now with Joe Kelly going down in that bullpen, well, the bullpen's a lot stronger.
And strong so far tonight. Mujica, a good inning. Time to stretch. Has done the last 3 innings, 5 runs, and our AT&T trivia question: who was batting when the D-backs turned the first triple play in their history?
Got a hint?
Big old hint. May 31st of 2000. Mark McGwire, maybe his next career will be being an umpire.
Pretty good form.
Very good.
I think he could handle most arguments.
I would agree. He knows the strike zone very well.
It's our Mid-America Chevy dealers call to the bullpen. Matt Albers, last 17 games, he's got a 0.66 ERA.
Well hit by Jay, but right at the second baseman Hill, who has gone 37 games without an error at second base for the D-backs.
Albers was acquired along with Scott Sednick from the Red Sox with Craig Grieslow on the trading deadline. He had 40 appearances for the Sox, 2.0, 2.29 ERA, and how about the mess they've got up there? Boston players only meeting, the ownership meeting with the players, and some people say that players have had it with Bobby Valentine.
And it could be vice versa. Maybe he's had it with
them.
them.
You can't fire all the players, though.
No, you can't.
Bobby's first year there and does things a little different. And he got a few of the players mad. Beckett kind of questioned some of his stuff. Youkilis, they had to trade him to the White Sox. And I don't know Kevin Youkilis that well, but Bobby was accusing him of not really being competitive. That just doesn't sound like, Youkilis is hard-nosed, tough ball player. Then Pedroia said, we don't put up with that stuff here. That's not the way we operate.
A lot of their issues went back to last season.
Right. They've got Francona fired.
Clubhouse turmoil there. That's a tough division, that American League East.
LA does hold on. They win at Pittsburgh 9-3. Cardinals win this game. They'll be tied with Pittsburgh, 7 games behind Cincinnati.
Alan Craig homered in the 5th inning. He's 1 for 3. His 61st RBI of the season came on his 18th home run.
Cardinals could put Pittsburgh in the rear view mirror end of the weekend.
Been waiting for this team to catch fire all season long. I think for a lot of Cardinal fans, you talk about their offense, all the players batting over 300, the starting staff. You've got a young manager who has the respect of his team, and yet you look at the standings and you think there should be more. So it's been a bit frustrating, but that'll all go away if the Cardinals get on that roll we've expected them to get on.
And what respect I have for the Cardinal players, and just looking at how the scenario is coming, I think that they will. I would be extremely disappointed and be shocked if they do not land at least a wild card berth.
Al said that Matt Holliday is going to hit a home run today. Might be his last chance. Mitchell Boggs,
8th inning man. Alvarez is really throwing the ball well. He originally came up with Houston, and then he was with Baltimore, and then with Red Sox before being traded to the Diamondbacks. I mentioned the last 17 games he has an ERA of 0.66, but it appears that if our scoreboard is correct, that he has not given up a run, with his new ball club, the Arizona Diamondbacks. He has 0 ERA.
Ground ball to the left side, just foul. A lot of big hits in this game for the Cardinals. 3 2-out hits in the 6th inning. The biggest hit, I would say, so far in this contest is Rafael Furcal's triple into the right field corner. 2 RBIs to extend the Cardinal lead to 5-2 to give him a little breathing room. David Freese, a 2-run homer. Alan Craig, a solo shot, counted for the other 3 runs. The 1-2.
Foul tip.
Holliday waves at a breaking ball. They're going to have to throw him out, and they do. Holliday strikes out. 1-2-3 inning for Alvarez. On to the 8th. right, it's time to go to our studio and Pat Paris with this Bommarito Sports Update. Pat? Thanks, Pat. Our Schnucks difference maker is Rafael Furcal. His triple in the 6th inning, scored 2 Cardinal runs, also has a double and has played good defense. Mitchell Boggs will pitch the 8th.
Hopefully he'll be as effective as he was last night when he retired all 3 batters he faced in the 8th. And he'll pitch. The first batter is Ryan Wheeler, young man that was just tearing up AAA at the time of his promotion.
Mitchell Boggs is a different pitcher this year.
Pitcher with confidence.
And command. They go hand in hand, don't they?
Yeah, he had a bad game. Gave up the 3-run home run and blown save on Sunday, but he's able to forget about those things, bounce back like he did last night, retire 3 batters.
The first guy I would credit for Mitchell Boggs having a good year is Mitchell Boggs. He still has to be the one getting it done, but Mike Matheny deserves a lot of credit for believing in him, sticking with him, and forcing him to be the guy that he needs him to be, which is an 8th inning impact reliever.
You know, I went to Mike in spring training and I said, it appears that you are going out of your way to always praise Mitchell Boggs. And he said, absolutely. He goes, I believe in this guy. We want him to have the confidence that we have in him, and he's pitching with that confidence now. So I agree with you.
Attention all high school and college students. Career Day will be Thursday, September 20th. Cardinals are going to host the Astros. Learn about sports-related careers from Cardinals executives and players during a pregame program. Tickets are just $15. For details, visit cardinals.com/career day. Stephen Drew, 0 for 3. 1 for 4 in game 1, 4 strikeouts in his 7 at-bats in this series. That's not something you want out of your leadoff hitters. Although you think Stephen Drew, a lot of times for the D-backs, when he's going well, he's hit third for them.
Missed so much time with that fractured right ankle. Has hit 300 last 8 games.
He's been a little late. He's had some trouble with the strike zone too. He's mildly argued a couple of calls that didn't go his way, and all part of the timing of trying to get back into the swing of playing at this level. You miss a year's worth of timing as a big league hitter. That's not easy to come back from.
He got under the skin of their ownership early in the year when they thought he should be coming back quicker than he did. Owner said, worry about your current contract and not where you're going to play next year.
Certainly one of the influences that goes on in this game is the voice in your ear from your agent getting you to think that way. Not that everything they've done has been bad for players. It certainly has helped them, but a little more control than perhaps they should have. And another strikeout of Stephen Drew, this one on a 97-mile-an-hour fastball that cuts the inside corner.
Right down and in, and Mitchell can throw a power sinker, with that velocity. And sometimes when you watch him, what he's got, you go, how do people hit it?
Right.
And for 23 straight appearances, they didn't, as he threw 23 scoreless appearances.
Took a little abuse in the offseason, which, hey, I can deal with, but a lot of folks saying, hey, how can you say that Mitchell Boggs is a Hall of Famer? Of course, I was being misquoted. What I said many times during the season last year, and you, I think, agree that there are times he throws Hall of Fame pitches.
Yes.
But the key is throwing a lot of them.
Yeah, not enough of them.
That's right.
But, you know, we're starting to see, and I thought that his confidence got shattered last year. And in a very quick period of time, he went from being closer. He was successful 3 straight times. He blew a 4th save. And then a week later, he was in the minor leagues. And I don't think he really fully recovered from that. So that's why Mike went out of his way to really build his confidence and his psyche back. And like you said, give all the credit to Mitchell. He had the raw ability, but we've seen a lot of guys that don't know how to use that ability. Wouldn't you say, Ricky, the biggest, they're superstars in this game, and the biggest thing about the difference is not so much in physical ability, it's just the mental aspect of it.
No question. You have to have the physical ability, too.
Yeah, everybody has that.
Right. Think of a player, met a fan tonight who was very proud to talk about the fact that she'd met David Eckstein. You think about how does that guy played here in St. Louis become a World Series MVP when he doesn't run very well, doesn't have a very good arm, doesn't have a lot of power.
All-time hit leader, Pete Rose. If you graded him out, you know, he would be average or below average in every category. But he willed himself to be the great hitter. And he was just, you know, when he got 1 hit, he wasn't content. When he got 2 hits, he wasn't content. He just thrived on, I'm going to get 3 or 4 hits a night. Or other guys get 1 or 2, they go, oh man, I had a good day. And he wanted to have a great day every day. Today, when some players try to play it cool, you know, Charlie Hustle would stand out, but he would stand out in a very positive way.
Swing and a miss. Good pitch by Boggs. Overpowering inning for Mitchell Boggs. Brought to you by Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. and by Taco Bell. Live Moss. 5-2 St. Louis. Home runs by David Freese and Alan Craig. 2-run triple for Rafael Furcal. And a good start for Adam Wainwright. Cardinals bullpen trying to close it out. Redbirds trying to tack on some runs here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Brad Bergerson, his second stint with Diamondbacks, who was recalled from AAA Reno on August 12th. He was claimed on waivers from the Orioles. Spent parts of 3 seasons with the Orioles from 09 to 11, with 17 and 24, 4.68 ERA. In 83 games, 59 starts.
And for those of you who may have joined us late and didn't hear the news earlier in the day, Felix Hernandez threw a perfect game, 3rd perfect game of the season. Beltran bounces out. Melky Cabrera also, it was reported and released and determined that he had been using a banned substance and he will be suspended for 50 games, which goes into the postseason.
Yeah, if they go 5 games, they got 45 games left. And so if they can go into the playoffs and 5 games deep, then he could come back. But you know, the minor leagues start, they end like the first week in September. So where are you going to play to stay in shape? I don't think he can work out with the Giants. It's suspension without pay. He was a free agent to be, and I know the Giants had a off on the contract 3 or 4 years. Some people speculate it cost him $50 million.
Interesting Twitter question about Melky Cabrera and wondering how it sits with us that he was the MVP of a All-Star game that counts. So if you're an American League fan and you have a player that was the most valuable player of a game that has tremendous implications to your league and to your team, how do you feel about that?
Well, and I'll give you another example too. He was 7 at-bats away from qualifying for the batting title. So they will give him an 0 for 7. He ends up with a 340 batting average. How could, you know, he potentially could win the National League batting crown. How do you do that with a guy that is suspended?
Interesting questions. Our Nissan drives of the game. A couple of home runs for the Cardinals. David Freese hit the first one. A long, towering shot.
It's a 2-run home run to give the Cardinals a 2-1 lead. Then Alan Craig adds a solo shot. Goes down and gets this one. Drives it to the opposite field. So the young guys help out Wainwright, trying to win his 11th game.
Daniel Descalzo started a Cardinal rally in the 6th inning. Base hit in front of Tony Cruz, who also singled, then Furcal delivering a 2-out triple.
Jason Mott.
You wanted to see him last night?
Yeah, well, he was warming up last night, and then Cardinals scored some late runs to not make it a save opportunity.
And they're trying to do the same thing. Descalzo, 2-out hit. Same situation. The Cardinals were leading 5-2 going into the bottom of the 8th inning, and they had a 3-run inning.
Well, I will predict this time whether if they score 3 runs, Mott will still pitch tonight.
I would agree. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Nice game for Tony Cruz. Handled Adam Wainwright well. He's 1 for 3. Only solid backup.
Yeah, only his 20th start of the year. And I'd have to say, you know, we've had some good backup catchers the last few years, but I think when it's going to be all said and done, I think Tony Cruz will be the best.
Descalzo bluffed a steal, actually tried to steal, then thought twice and stopped after 2 steps, almost got hung out to dry. They really worked hard on him when he was at first base in the 6th inning. Remember Joe Saunders threw over there about 10 times? Now they're forgetting about him in the 8th. Descalzo made him pay so much attention to him that Saunders allowed a base hit, then a triple.
Right. And that's what he was doing, is split your concentration.
Ferguson walks Tony Cruz, and that brings in Rafael Furcal. Good night for him, with the glove as well as with the bat.
And the big 2-run triple. That was large. Another extra base hit. 2 for 3. He's now putting together a little hitting streak. He's 3 games now, and hopefully that's an indication his back is feeling better.
Always felt that you could win a pennant in a division with a shortstop that doesn't hit, but you can't win with one that doesn't field.
That's true.
Defense so important up the middle. Your catcher, your shortstop, second baseman, center fielder.
Zagorski, left-hander warming up. As Carpenter is on deck, if Furcal can extend the inning.
It'll be the middle of the order for the Diamondbacks in the top of the 9th, so some work to be done for Jason Mott. Kubel, Goldschmidt, and Upton. Fly ball to shallow left. In comes Kubel. On to the 9th, and here comes Jason Mott.
Game edition of Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live. Pat Paris and Cal Eldred are at Lumiere Place. Cal takes a look at Waino's secondary pitches, how David Freese got his groove back, plus another edition of Mic'd Up with Mike Matheny. Jason Mott on to try to nail this one down for the Redbirds. We head back to the booth, and Rick and Al, guys.
Thanks, Jim. Appreciate your work. Jason Mott looking for save number 27. 26 for 30 in save opportunities. Very high percentage for him. He'll work with Tony Cruz, who's been behind the plate all night, filling in for Yadier Molina.
His last 5 appearances, he's got 4 saves and then got some work in another game. And you can see this is why I said whether he in a save situation or not, he needed to get some work tonight. Keep him sharp, and hopefully he can pick up that number 27th save.
First pitch, strike 1 at 96. Cardinals bullpen has been perfect so far tonight. Mojica, a 1-2-3 inning, and a very strong inning for Mitchell Boggs with a couple of strikeouts. Mott trying to save this game for Adam Wainwright.
Rick, the Cardinal starters are averaging 6 innings per start, and we've talked about before the trade deadline, we lost a lot of games in the 6th and 7th innings. You know, when you're trying to go from the starter to 8th inning and 9th inning, Boggs and Mott. Cardinals are averaging 5 runs per game.
Out number 1.
And you look at the Cardinals, they have 4 10-game winners. Of course, if this game holds, Wainwright will go to his 11th win. And look at all the ERAs are under 4, and even Joe Kelly, his ERA is under 4. He won his 3rd game last night. He'll be put into the bullpen on Sunday when Garcia comes back to the rotation after missing about 2 months with his shoulder strain.
And you really cannot use the word demotion when you talk about Joe Kelly going to the bullpen. I think he's going to get some important innings in that Cardinal.
I think there's no doubt. I mean, you know, it would be kind of classified as a long man, but with the Cardinal starters, how often do we ever use a long man? Because they consistently are going 5 and more. They average at 6, but he'll get some big innings.
Think about clubs that want to get their 7th, 8th, and 9th inning guys, but as often as you use that formula, you can't have them pitch the 7th, the 8th, the 9th every single night.
Exactly. You know, there are going to be times when someone's going to have to substitute for Mott in the 9th inning because he's thrown 4 games in a row. There are going to be times where it's going to be the 6th, 7th, or 8th inning. But to have another power arm down there. And remember, Kelly was a closer in college. He was the closer, and Sepchinski was in the rotation.
The 2-2. Fouled straight back. Good cut by Goldschmidt, who's homered tonight.
Nobody on base. He can't hit a 4-run homer.
Nice to have those 5-2 leads going into the 9th, isn't it?
It sure is. And even nicer when you can have a 1-2-3 inning.
Cardinals trying to win their 7th straight against the Diamondbacks. Slicing foul and out of play.
Fastball away at 96.
That man is mad he didn't catch that ball. He had his chance, didn't he?
He had it. What's that guy doing the dark Fu Manchu? How does it get dark hair?
Asking the wrong guy. Cutter. Popped up. Craig has it. 2 outs in the 9th. Time to name our Budweiser player of the game, and after all the votes have come in and we've tabulated them, it's going to go to Adam Wainwright.
I think I had Adam down there, and I had Freese and Craig and Holiday. So 3 out of 4 is not bad.
I would agree. Fans on their feet.
Cardinals with this victory would move into a tie for second place in the Central Division with Pittsburgh. Cardinals moving in the right direction. Pirates have fallen.
Strike one to Upton.
Hey, did we see a batter take a, when you're down in the count and you take a strike? Doesn't happen anymore, does it?
Not often.
98, so now Mott feeling it a little bit. For that pitch, another 4 inches higher, and we can go home.
That one was just 3 inches higher.
In this game, and then you got the 12-2 Kyle Loesch going tomorrow. Like your chances.
And a strike 3 call on the outside corner. Jason Mott has closed it out. A Cardinal victory 5-2. And they've won this series and will go for the sweep tomorrow.
Very good ball club. Cardinals score 5 runs again on 8 hits. You get 2 big home runs. You get the timely triple, a 2-run triple by Percal. Wainwright was outstanding, and so was the bullpen.
Jason Mott throws the final pitch to close it out. Don't go away. The Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live postgame show is coming up next.